Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another card making day here in Simcoe, Ontario, where I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you live in Canada and you don't have your own demonstrator, you can shop with me. You can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net. So the card we're going to make today is quite a simple card, but it's got a lot of elements to it. It has some embossing, some die cutting, some stamping, but it's quick and simple. We're going to use let me see, the Berry Christmas suite, just the sentiment from the Berry Christmas, because it fits the card. So we're going to use that. We've used that stamp set before. It's on page 24 in the mini catalogue. The stamp set is let me see, the stamp set's about $35, and the punch that goes with it is $30. We're going to use the Sending Cheer set. This is a set that I've just purchased. $72 for the stamps and dies, and the stamps and dies are amazing. We're going to use the Christmas Tidings embossing folder. We've used that before. That's $13.75. And what else do we have? Oh, I know, the Deckled Circles dies. Now I think these dies here, they're not getting much attention. I think people are missing these dies because they're a standalone set of dies. They don't come in a bundle with anything. It's just the dies you buy. And honestly, it's an amazing set. It's on page 63, $51 for the dies. But let me show you the dies. This is the Deckled Circles dies. Maybe I'll move that out of the way. I don't need that. This is the Deckled Circles dies, and you get, I think it's 14 different sized circles, and they all have, the first one's about maybe 6 inches down to about an inch, so they graduate down, but they all have this beautiful deckled or wrinkled edge, you know, uneven edge. Beautiful set of dies. The Sending Cheer, let me see, where's the Sending Cheer? That's the stamp set. Has really nice stamps, Christmas presents, gingerbread men, Christmas stockings, envelopes. But the dies, you get some extras. You get, of course, the Christmas stocking, the gingerbread man, the presents, the dies, the envelopes. But you get like a bow to cut out to go on the presents. You get holly leaves, regular leaves, a Santa hat that isn't, you know, there's no stamp for it, but you cut out the stamp, the Santa hat. There's Christmas ornaments, there's little flowers, little hearts, label shapes, everything. That's a beautiful set. And then we've got the Berry Christmas suite, which we're going to use the stamp from, and the Christmas Tidings embossing folder. So let's get started and see what we need to do. I need this over here and this over here. Let's get started. We're going to make this card using Parakeet Party. It's a beautiful, bright, yellowy lime green. It's lovely. And we're going to take the, let me think, the second largest die. That's this one here. Now when I count my dies, I count from the outside in, so second largest. And we've got a piece of Parakeet Party. It's 8.5 by 5.5, but that's just, you don't need that. You could get it out of 8.5 inches square, really. And that's going to go like, it doesn't matter where it goes on your card, but you might as well put it at one end or the other so that you've got a big piece left. So we're going to do that with the second largest die. The third largest die we're going to cut out of a piece of Very Vanilla. Now I did cut the whole thing out, but we're going to cut it in half so it will make the inside for the card. Okay, that will become the inside for the card. But I just wanted you to see, because I've already cut that out once for my sample, and this was the piece I had left over. So we're going to use that. We've got a couple of pieces of 4.25 by 5.5, which we're going to stamp some gingerbread men on, and a sentiment. Let's do the stamping first, because then we can get maybe 2 pieces through the embossing folder at the same time. Now because the photopolymer stamps, I need my brown foam mat, which gives me some give to the stamps when I stamp them. So let's see what we've got. We've got some pecan pie ink, an ink pad in pecan pie. Let me just move these over out of the way. Right. Pecan pie ink, and we've got the gingerbread stamp from the Sending Cheer set, and we're going to stamp this 3 times. Oops, let's get them all inked. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So there's your 3 gingerbread men. So then we need a little face for him, and we're going to just stamp that on in Memento. And the face is this little piece here. Now I left the ink on there so you can see what it looks like. 2 eyes and a mouth. That's all it is. And we're just gonna, I don't want that. Yeah, we do. No. Let's close that up. Do it right. So we're putting this in Memento ink, and we're just going to stamp it on his face. 1, 2, 3. That's that part done. Then for the hearts on the front of the gingerbread man, maybe if I turn it this way I'll line it up better. We've got some real red. And I've just put this heart stamp on the back of my my other stamp. So this one's a little bit tricky because you're going to line it up over the hearts on the gingerbread men, but honestly you can see where they are and you can do a pretty good job. She says, almost. There. So that's my 3 hearts on the gingerbread man. Now I'm going to keep the red out because I'm going to stamp the sentiment which says Christmas is better together in real red. And I'm going to get that on the end of this piece here. There. So that's all the stamping we need, because we're not going to put a sentiment on the inside. Now we do have an envelope here which we should stamp a little gingerbread man on. So let me go back and do that quickly, just to tie it all together nicely. So here he is. We're just going to stick him in the bottom corner. There. Some red hearts. A bit of black face. Memento I'm using for his face. There. So that's it. So we've tied the envelope in nicely to the card as well. I can put all the ink out of the way and all the stamps out of the way. Okay, and there's the envelope. So now we have to do some die cutting. We're going to just cut this out anywhere from this piece of Parakeet Party. We don't have to be too careful with that. What I do need to be careful with is my die for the gingerbread man. So I'm going to tape it down. You see. I do, yeah, I've only got 1 gingerbread man die, so I have to move this up so you can see. I'm taping it down so that it cuts it out really nicely right around the gingerbread man. because I don't want this to move too far. The die that is actually the present here, I'm going to use to cut out the sentiment. So again, I'm going to tape it down because I'd like it to be nice and even. Looks pretty good. Just tape that down. There. So you're going to have to excuse me time I go to the big shot. I've got to cut out this circle, these dies, and then these dies as well. So I will be back in just a minute. So here we are. I've cut out all the pieces we need cut out. Now what we need to do, this piece here, I need to score it across the middle, and then I'm going to emboss it in this Christmas Tidings embossing folder. So I need my cutting scoring board. So we've got 3 gingerbread men, a sentiment, and that. So this I'm going to score at 2 11/16. Now it's kind of hard to line up 2 11/16 on your cutter because your 16ths are way up there and the edge of your circle is down here. So I'm going to put my ruler at 2 11/16 on here, right there. Line it up kind of straight. Put my circle to the top of my cutter and up against the ruler. Just lie it flat, hold it down and score it up the middle. There, like that. So I've now got a score line down the middle of this. You can see it if I turn it a little bit. Yeah, you can see it there. If I turn it. So then, everything out of the way, we're going to take this and put it in this Christmas Tidings embossing folder and emboss the bottom half. So you have to think about it, because your card is going to fold like this. So you're going to run this through like this. So you have like a little edge at the top where there is nothing. That is exactly where I'm going to put my line. My score line is right at the top of this folder. And I'm going to put it right up almost to the top edge. So I'm just having a look to see how straight this is, and I need to pull this end out a bit more, but I need to hold the folder like that. Now if you are careful when you're running this through your embossing machine, okay, we don't need this plate, which is number 2. This is just a standard embossing folder. It's not 3D. So your standard embossing folder, you have your plates, number 1, which is your big one glass plate, and then you have this. Now I'm going to put this way in my embossing folder. Okay, so I need to move this, or the green cardstock, over this way so that I've got it all on a flat surface. The machine is going to bend my folder a little bit around my boards, so go slowly when you're running it through, cranking it through the Big Shot or the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Just get that straight again. Okay, it will go through. You have to be careful. I know you're always supposed to roll your folder through your machine this way, and it has a special tilt on it, if you will, so that it rolls, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to be very careful, do it very slowly and run it through this way because I want the bottom half of my card embossed. So let's go see what we can do. So this is what we've got. I ran this through, and when I open this up, just the front portion of the card is going to be embossed. Okay, so let's move that out. We're going to take this and fold it on the line, on the score line, and give it a little burnish. Now don't press too hard because you don't want to wipe your embossing out. So this is the basis of my card. So I think the next thing we have to do is put this piece in the center. Now you'll see why I'm putting this piece in the center next, because everything else gets built up on the front of the card, but because it's only half a card, it's a little bit harder to do. But this piece, which was the third deckled circle die, cut out and sliced across the middle, is going to go right in there for my sentiment, just like that. I think I'll use some liquid glue for that. I could use I could use my tape runner for that if I wanted to. Either one will work. I'm just going to put that in the center, and it's going to give you a nice little border around. Make sure it's nice and straight with the top of the card and the bottom. There. Okie doke. So that's that. So the next thing we're going to do is put this sentiment on the front. But first, because it was a label, you see, it's got this little circle. I'm just going to snip that off, just like that. Gives me a straight edge. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, if I can find them. Put this up on some dimensionals. And I'm going to put this right to the bottom, in the center of the card, but right to the bottom. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm putting it right so that the corners of my sentiment are in line with the edges of my card. You see, you can't see any sentiment sticking out. And then the gingerbread men, again, because they're meant to be little ornaments, I'm just going to cut the circle off the top carefully, just following the line of my my stamping, really. Throw those away. So gingerbread men are going on the front of this card. We've got 3 of them. We're going to put some liquid glue on the bottom half only of the leg. Like that. I'm a bit heavy-handed where liquid glue comes. And I'm going to tuck this in behind the sentiment. Now, this is where we need to do a quick measure, because you don't want your card to be any taller than 4 1/4 inches. And it's going to be just about 4 1/4. It's going to be fine, because I want this card to fit in a standard size envelope. I'm going to do the same with the second gingerbread man. Just on the end of his legs. Tuck him in. There. He needs to move over a bit. There we go. Glue off there. There. And the third gingerbread man, we're going to pop him up on a couple of dimensionals. Now I'm going to put the dimensionals on his feet, but not right to the bottom of his feet, sort of more to the middle of his leg, if that makes sense. And I'm using the edges of the dimensionals to do that, the edges of the sheet of dimensionals to do that. You see, I need that moved up. There. So they're not right to the bottom of his feet. They're up about 1/4 inch, I think. Take these off. And this one is going to tuck behind, but his legs will pop up over the side. There. So your dimensionals, that's where my dimensionals are. They are not on here, but on his legs and stuck to the card itself. So there it is. That is our card for this morning. And we've got the envelope to match the card. And that's our card for today. Quick, simple, A lot of little elements, took about 20 minutes to make maybe, but it makes a nice card. Thanks for watching everybody. See you next week. Bye.